The viewers are being deceived by a carefully crafted narrative in some stories, okay? In some areas, they do fantastic journalism. For some reason, some of these stories have an incredible slant, and if you accidentally step outside it, they try to internally destroy you.
Former Houston Fox 26 reporter Ivory Hecker speaking out about the deception she says she witnessed during her time as a reporter. Those experiences prompted her to make this announcement during a live hit earlier this week. Take a look.
Thanks, guys. That's right. Before we get to that story, I want to let you, the viewers, know that Fox Corp has been muzzling me to keep certain information from you, the viewers. And from what I'm gathering, I am not the only reporter being subjected to this. I am going to be releasing some recordings about what goes on behind the scenes at Fox because it applies to you, the viewers. I found a nonprofit journalism group called Project Veritas. It's going to help put that out tomorrow, so tune into them.
That's Ivory Hecker. She's joining us live now. Ivory, good to see you, and thanks so much for coming on. We know the update part of this story. You are out of that job, no longer with Fox 26. Is that correct?
That's what I'm hearing as well. Fox 26 has not told me that themselves, which I think is quite strange, but I'm hearing I'm out of that job.
Let me ask you about this. The piece is out. It's obviously, you know the business. It's been teased. It has finally dropped. I know you've obviously seen it. What did you think of the piece by Project Veritas? Did it justify your thoughts? And what kind of, how is your message being received so far this morning?
Yep, Project Veritas did a good job of touching on some of the slant that Fox has been all about over this past year, and this has been very well received from audiences. I think a lot of Americans have been very frustrated with news outlets and have been wondering what is going on, why aren't my questions being answered, and to kind of see a little bit behind the scenes to validate that, yes, the news is ignoring your questions, and this is kind of how it works, viewers wanted to see that. It's good to let people know that they're not alone in wondering what the heck is going on with these news outlets who are, in many cases, really ignoring certain stories.
Well, let me give the viewers an example. Obviously, it's 17 minutes long, I believe the whole piece is. But we'll play one of the moments. This is when you say a really turning point happened for you, and it was after you were sent to cover a story about hydroxychloroquine and what appeared to be a demonization of that drug. Here's that.
I asked that question because I was getting those tips from the viewers. And that was a story, by the way, that Susan and Lee sent me there to cover the COVID treatments at that hospital. I just wasn't supposed to ask that question.
To cease and desist posting about hydroxychloroquine. In my opinion, you failed as a reporter to not know more if you were going to post about hydroxychloroquine, that you didn't look it up and look at the latest post, the latest research about it. Read the articles.
I have.
Study. There was a major study in the New England Journal of Medicine on July 23rd before that doctor, went viral. I mean, you didn't refer to any of that.
That study makes him more I was aware of that study, which is why I posted him.
What study?
Because
study?
I referenced it in my story about Dr. Emanuel.
That particular story is what bothered Fox so much. They wanted to internally defame me and smear me. And I'm going to put those sound bites out about Fox as well, because their reaction to me outing them was pretty interesting. They wanted to smear me.
Let me jump in, because you know how time works with this. I've got to put this out. Daily Beast obtained a quote from your former employer. What we understand is Fox 26. It says this, quote, Fox 26 adheres to the highest editorial standards of accuracy and impartiality. Fox 26 spokesperson told the Daily Beast, this incident involves nothing more than a disgruntled former employee seeking publicity by promoting a false narrative produced through selective editing and misrepresentation, end quote. I just want you to respond to this. Are you a disgruntled employee seeking publicity?
Well, I can tell you that it does disgruntle me. to have the viewers' questions ignored and have the facts on the ground shut down. But let me just say that statement is obviously false because I wasn't a former employee when I did what I did. I dared them to fire me.
Let me ask you just a conversation between both of us here. You not only worked in mid-major markets. Houston's a top 10. I mean, it's a major market. You've worked in Minneapolis, huge market, Lexington, Columbia, a journalism degree from Syracuse. And it seemed the Daily Beast put out this headline, wait, this is why a local Fox reporter sabotaged her career, womp womp. Some of the media feel like it was somewhat of a letdown, that it wasn't the bombshell report, that it was alleged. Do you agree to that? How do you respond to that? Because essentially, correct me if I'm wrong, for you to get back into news, any of the news organizations, that may be a tough road for you.
I don't want to work for another news corporation after what I experienced with Fox. It's really put a bad taste in my mouth. But I mean, Project Veritas didn't, in that particular video yesterday, they didn't include the part where Fox stooped so low as to go into defamation, where I had to get an attorney involved, and Fox had to take a step back and say, oh my gosh, we're going to get sued and we're going to lose. So we better stop messing with this. There's also a soundbite I'm going to put out of Fox telling me, you cannot publicly support free sharing of information. That's something you need to support in your private time. What is that? So Fox blatantly saying we don't support things like this. I think that is pretty important for viewers to be aware of, and those sound bites are coming out today.
Ivory, are you going against Fox 26 in Houston, or is this an attack on Fox News as a whole, or Fox Corp?
Several of the Fox executives at Fox 26 have told me some of these edicts have come down from Fox Corp. So that is why I mentioned Fox Corp. That I was told by a separate executive at Fox 26. He pulled me aside, said this to me himself, that Susan, my news director, was fighting for me behind the scenes, but in the end, she had to follow edicts from her bosses up in New York. So that is why I called out Fox Corp.
All right, and I understand you have something online. People are donating money to you as well. I believe I saw that givesendgo.com/support Ivory, which I believe at last check, yeah, $77,000 raised there. All right, so many questions for you. I've never seen that in my entire life, of someone going on air and going for it the way you did. But we are out of time. Ivory Hecker, thank you so much. We'll continue to follow your journey. Ivory, thank you.
Thanks.